This programming is sponsored by Central Market, featuring daily floral deliveries with an array of seasonal blooms, bouquets, and custom arrangements. More at centralmarket.com.
This is the Engines of Our Ingenuity, made possible by the friends of KUHF Houston.
Today, we get Typhus. The University of Houston's College of Engineering presents this series about the machines that make our civilization run and the people whose ingenuity created them. We expect people to die in wars by guns and bombs, but in fact wars often kill more people by diseases. One of the worst has always been typhus, which makes people terribly delirious with extreme fevers. Most die without modern medicine. It appears that ancient Athens had epidemics of typhus. Many of Napoleon Bonaparte's troops died of typhus in Russia. But for centuries, typhus was a mysterious killer. Nobody knew how people got typhus. Charles Nicolle was born in Normandy, France, and studied medicine at the famous Pasteur Institute. After graduation, he worked in a small hospital, and he hated it. His colleagues didn't want to hear his modern ideas about disease. His job wasn't secure, and his hearing was so bad he could barely use a stethoscope. So he took a chance. He went to the French colony of Tunisia to run the Pasteur Institute lab in Tunis. Tunis was very poor and afflicted by many diseases, but typhus was, in Nicolle's words, the most important and the least explored. It was dangerous work. About a third of doctors in Tunisia died of typhus. Nicolle himself was going to go investigate typhus in a prison, but canceled at the last minute. His two colleagues went without him, and both died. Nicolle was very observant, and he noticed something odd. Typhus patients spread it to other people, including their families and the hospital admissions staff. But once they were in the hospital, they never infected the doctors or the other patients. What had happened to them? Well, they'd been bathed and dressed in new hospital clothes. What difference did that make? It got rid of their lice. Lice were everywhere in Tunis, as they were in military camps and trenches. The word kuti first meant lice on soldiers in World War I. Nicolle first showed that typhus could infect monkeys and guinea pigs, allowing experiments with the disease. And finally he showed that lice were the mysterious carriers of typhus. His work made delousing and insecticides, including DDT, into standard tools for prevention of typhus. Nicolle and his colleagues finally managed to eradicate typhus from Tunis, but it's still around. It killed over 20 million people around Russia in the chaos after World War I. In World War II, the famous Anne Frank died of typhus in a concentration camp, and just 20 years ago, 100,000 people got typhus during the civil war in Burundi. Nicolle had a very poetic side. In his Nobel Prize lecture, he said, "Man carries on his skin a parasite, the louse. Civilization rids him of it. Should man regress, should he allow himself to resemble a primitive beast, the louse begins to multiply again and treats man as he deserves, as a brute beast." I'm Richard Wilson at the University of Houston, where we're interested in the way inventive minds work.